Tribe. This is Valerie White Williams, and I am talking to you today about the Saturn Capricorn connection. You guys might be tired about me talking about all this Capricorn that's going on, but I did look ahead, like sneaking ahead and reading a book ahead about when this Capricorn Stellium is going to break up. And it looks like by April, we're going to be out of the woods with that. And the reason why Capricorn is so intense right now is because it's kind of gathering around that South Node, which is also in Capricorn. And South Node is where we've been before, so it's familiar to us. But what is at the South Node is things that aren't in our best interest. So we want to go back to what's comfortable, but it's not working. And so we need to move on the other side, which is Cancer. And that's what I talked about in my last video, is that we have to kind of move to the mother goddess and the nurturing and let go of all that toxic stuff. But because we're going to be dealing with this energy for some time, I thought I might as well talk a bit more about it. And that's, again, where you know where your chart is, where you know where that Capricorn is hitting you, that's really what you're having to dig out and clear out all that junk. But what I wanted to share with you is that there is a connection between the planet Saturn and the planet Capricorn, because every astrological sign is connected to a planet, which means Capricorn is a sign of cardinal Earth, which is building structure, creating new forms. So of course it deals with government, it deals with creating corporations, it creates with structure, it creates with creating a new business. So all those things are going on with the Capricorn energy. And again, Capricorn isn't bad. I do not believe any astrology sign is good or bad. They're just energies that are used, because Capricorns are very hardworking. They're very modest usually. They definitely build for things the long term. So that's the good thing with Capricorns and the Capricorn energy, as I like to say. But then the dark side of the Capricorn energy is the control game, the control drama, the financial system, the politics system, the school system, all this, choking structure that doesn't really serve us. It serves other people. So now let's talk about Saturn. And, I'm not a huge expert of the mythological signs of the planets, so I can't remember them. However, Saturn tends to be the planet of what we consider called limitation or structure. So it's about building what you want and having to wait and build things in advance, having discipline to create long-term structure, or creating your life in the way that you want. So when you go through your Saturn return, which is usually when you're 28, 29 degrees, Saturn is exactly where it was when you were born. So it's kind of like, yoo-hoo, wake up call. This is what you said you wanted to work on. And then when you get to be in your late 50s, you get your second Saturn return. It's kind of like, oh yeah, this is what I'm here to build. This is what I'm building. Because Saturn is a building energy. It's a structure. One of my teachers that I've worked with, her name's Connie Kaplan, and I've studied her. I call her American mystic, kind of also an alternative astrologer. She sees Saturn and Capricorn as how we view time. And I kind of like that, because it makes it not sound so dun 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 dun, super scary. It's like, this is the way we see time, because in reality, time is illusion. There is no time. But we are in this reality right now where time seems to be really real. And so time is a way that our creations manifest. And right now, time is involved with that building. Now, there is the dark side of Saturn. And some of you might have heard people talking about that, where the dark forces worship Saturn, and there's the Saturn worship and all the black cubes everywhere and all this kind of creepy stuff. So yeah, there is this kind of mystical things that we are sharing on our creative view. So a lot of the music stars, they have all this Saturnalia type of programming that is in the music video and everything. Yeah, hi Tom, good to see you too. I just have a few minutes, and I'm still talking about Capricorn and Saturn because I think it's so important for us. So yeah, there's that dark side of Capricorn, which is the controlled grid. In fact, what's interesting, and I wish I could live stream and send you guys a screenshot, but you can Google this. You can look and see the hexagram that's on the top of I say Capricorn, on the top of Saturn. It's real. It's really creepy looking because you think, how does this work? There's this really creepy kind of hexagram on the poles of Saturn, and it's really weird looking. Science doesn't know what it is. They don't know why it's doing it. It's really crazy. Yes. And so it's really intense right now on the planet. And then, of course, all the stuff that's going on all over the world, the fires, government, everything, people are feeling crazy. The antidote for that is to, first of all, see the crazy, see the structures that we don't want to give power to, and then turn it into our own life and how we can get rid of those lies and structures and recreate the world that we really want. And again, in your chart, that's where. So those old patterns that we are learning to identify, and once we identify them, we go, oh, I don't want this anymore. And then we can create a different pattern, a different response. Please post the link. You mean the link to the pictures? Yes, right. My voice is weak, too poor vocal energy. Yes, winter's really a tough time anyway. Now, luckily, the sun has moved into Aquarius. And so that Aquarian energy is starting to manifest, but the Capricorn is still in power. We still have all that Capricorn. And so it's kind of feel like that sludge. We're dealing with all this toxic sludge. So there's lots of changes happening. I had a student come in today, and I asked her about her boyfriend. She's going to graduate, and she goes, oh, well, we broke up. So there's lots of people passing away. There's lots of people making shifts and changes. And that's the good thing about Capricorn, because Capricorn can keep us locked in, and we're trying to break it up, especially with Saturn in there. And so that's what's going on. There's this kind of a cosmic battle going on right now. And so as clear as we can be and have compassion for yourself. The other thing about Capricorn is it can be kind of depressing. That's some of the things. The Capricorn energy can be kind of like a stick in the mud, not any fun, depressing energy. It doesn't have to be that way. But I think that's the negative part of it too. Like we're trapped here. We can't get out. We don't like this. This is a structure. It's like, feels like a cage. So that's kind of what we're dealing with, is allowing ourselves to kind of break free of the cage. And the way we break free of the cage is we have to see it first, because that's what's going on, is that if you don't see you're in a cage, you're going to defend the cage. And that's what we call the Stockholm Syndrome. And that's an experiment where when people were enslaved, or they were actually, I think it happened in a real life, where people were actually in a jail situation, they were maybe prisoners of war. After a time, they started basically accepting it and then giving up seniority to their jail keepers and defending them. So that's what we have in our culture. People are defending being jailed and controlled. And that's what's happening. Now, that's the thing about being artists, is that artists have a chance to break free from that sort of programming. A piece of art can stab you and going like a gong in the head, that you can see things and see as well. Yes, and I see you, Tom. Pisces, you guys are so sensitive and feel all the feels. And so this is a really rough time for all the sensitive folks, because we're picking up all these vibes, and it's really important that you have some sort of process that you can kind of clear out things, whether it's meditation, working out, journaling. We just have to kind of let go. And you know what? We can let go of it all. That's the whole thing in our culture, is that once we as a society decide we want something else, it's going to change. And we're in that process. Again, Saturn is that time. So the time is giving us to actually really feel what we really want. So we have to let go of what we want first. And that's when the society lies. You have to let go, and then you create something new in the vacuum. And so that's what we're dealing with, is that energy that's churning through society saying, we don't comply with this. We don't want this. We want something else. So the antidote is to focus on the nurturing side, and then realize as the astrology clock moves on, the planets, we are moving to that Aquarian, and that's going to happen in April. So yeah, that's still several months of clearing out Capricorn. And for me, I think I feel it really strongly because my natal South Node is in Capricorn. Yay, yay me. So it's more intense because it's triggering up all my old karma about how I have to take care of everybody. And that's my stuff. And I have to be responsible to everybody in my world. And I'm really going to be happy to move through that so I can get into some other things that I want to do. But that Saturn part of it is something to consider. And I think at the end of this video, I'm going to see if I can find a picture of that Saturn creepy thing on the pole, and you just kind of go, that doesn't seem like something natural. And I don't know, there's a lot of things in astronomy that we don't know, and there's a lot of things they're not sharing with us because they don't want everybody to freak out. But I find it really fascinating because there's more and more disclosure about these things, and you kind of have to dig for them. Like this big space rod that looks like a rock, but they think is a spaceship. And I'll see if I can find that link too, because there's all kinds of stuff. But here's the deal. We are going to get through it. And being artists, we have, I don't want to say advantage or an edge, but we do have an inner way to deal with our feelings, because that's what artists do. We can take our emotional feelings, create art, and it doesn't have to be pretty art. Sometimes art's meant to challenge you and shake you up, but that's the beauty of art, because the action of art expresses it, and then we can share it with others, and it's beautiful. All right, guys, I gotta go. Great for checking in with me, Tom. Keep doing the art, keep the light, keep recognizing the stress, and realize we have the power to change it, because we will, and we are. All right, I love you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.